We've got some movement in our sky this week, my friend. This is your Sidereal Astrology Forecast for the week of May 27th through June 2nd. And we've got two planets changing signs this month. One of them being our outer planets, or one of our outer planets that is going to change signs for the next 9 years. It will be in this new zodiac sign, my friend. Lots and lots of changes coming ahead. So stay tuned, because in this Sidereal Astrology Forecast, we are going to talk about our sun, what's going on with our sun this week, what's going on with Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Uranus. So buckle up, because we're also going to talk about where the moon is and how to use that energy. My friend, if you are new here, hello, hello. Danny Simonis here, intuitive, sidereal astrologer, and spiritual healer. Helping you find peace in the chaos, my friend, helping you understand, navigate a life after awakening, and all the beauty that comes with it, so you can move forward towards your purpose and your mission. My friend, I apologize. First off, right off the bat, I apologize. I, in my head, had thought that this had already been recorded and scheduled, and I was going to review my analytics today and realized it never went out. So, and then it was never even recorded. I was like, I didn't publish it. And then I was like, oh, I never even recorded it. So we are actually recording this on the 29th. So we're 2 days into the week here, mid-week here. So we're going to backtrack for a couple of days, and then we're going to pull it forward for the rest of the week. So again, my deepest apologies. So if you're catching this on YouTube, you can see all the charts and everything that I'm about to pull up. And of course, my funny faces. And if you are on the podcast and you just want to listen to the content, or maybe you heard it on YouTube and now you want to listen to get some of those little details, if you have this playing in the background while you're working or on your walk, my friend, remember that we do have this on the podcast, the Cosmic Mystic Podcast. And if you're on the podcast, we've got this on the YouTube channel, Keeping It Real with Sidereal. All right. So diving in, let's take a look at where we are this week as far as where our sun is. We always look at our sun first, because our sun tells us our consciousness. It tells us where we are, where we're at in the zodiac season. So we are currently in our Taurus zodiac season. And Taurus, as we've said over the past few weeks, is a very stable, secure energy. And so it is very much in tune with the senses, the 3D, as I like to say, the tangible things in our life. So we've kind of slowed down to smell the roses, a lot more mindfulness during the season. And we can see here that our sun is still in Taurus. It's 12 degrees as we begin the beginning of this week, May 27th. So we're almost at that halfway point. You can also see here, something I want to point out is that our moon is currently making a trine over here to the sun. So we are preparing for new moon. So new moon will actually take place next week. So the energy is going to be dropping throughout this week as we're kind of finalizing details over what our intentions were at the beginning of the cycle. And this also is a time to reflect and kind of rest it out. So if you've been feeling a little bit more tired, or a little bit more so the past, because I'm recording this on Wednesday, over the past day or so, which is probably around Tuesday, you may have felt Monday and Tuesday a little bit of a slowdown, or a little bit even more of a of a tiredness, maybe not so much early Monday, but maybe later Monday, Tuesday, and even just a tiny bit this morning because our moon was in Capricorn. So we had tons of earth energy just like bringing us down. Also, we had some really good insights days coming in. So to get that really good clarity and future planning. So stay tuned for all of that. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the transits that are happening this week. Now, we do have one that is about to fall off that we've kind of been following for the past few weeks, and that is this trine over here to Pluto. We have this trine over here to Pluto, and then we also have this conjunction over here to Venus. So let's talk about both of those. First, let me remind you, this Sun trine Pluto here is going to fall off on the 29th. So as of the day that I'm recording this, this is falling off. So this was some really intense, deep experiences that we've been having. Really wanting to dive into things, really having this feeling of clearing the clutter, clearing things out, and studying and applying the application of the mysteries, the occult, astrology, transformation. So this is coming to an end. So for those of you that this past week, prior, we had our full moon, and that was intense because we were talking about Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by the planet Pluto. So those energies have been very, very intense for us over this past few weeks. So if you've had some breakdowns through some breakthroughs, if you're still trying to integrate all of that energy, let me tell you, my friend, 100% understand. I've had my own deep, intense experiences and things coming up for me. I'm like, dang, this was a good one. But all for my greatest and highest good, as always, as it is for you as well. So let's look at this Sun conjunct to Venus. So this started back on May 13th. It's going to peak this weekend on June 1st, but it will continue to be connected to the sun all the way through the 26th of June. So this is a really beautiful time of love, affection, creativity, really in that full expression. So being able like to tell your partner, tell your friends, tell your loved ones how much you love them and wanting to connect with them and really embrace that relationship. Also that creativity. So if there's been creative ideas or working on creative projects or outlets, maybe they're hobbies of some sort, may have been an interest to you. Feeling more radiating, attractive, and attracted to more beautiful things has probably also been within this energy. This has been such a beautiful time for giving and receiving. So look out for those opportunities for you to give, but also for you to receive, to be open to receiving during this time. Hosting events, parties, gatherings, all of this energy is so good for that. And financially, this is a really good time for many, many, many of us. Now, again, this does depend on where the sun and Venus are in your natal chart and how that's kind of affecting it, because if we've got like a Saturn involved, or we have particular zodiac signs involved, it may be a slightly different for you. So I could be saying you're like, I'm not feeling any of this, Danny. And it could definitely be just because of the way that your natal chart and these transits are interacting with each other. So if you do want more specifics on your natal chart, my friend, I do have a reading called Cosmic Insights, which is all about your transits that are going on right now for you and how to move through them, manage through them, work through them for your life, your business, and on your healing journey. All right, so let's move into the last one I want to talk about, which actually begins at the very, very end of this month with the sun. So we're just looking at sun transits right now. And this one is with our beautiful planet Saturn. So on the 2nd here, and this is going to be through June 15th. So right as we start to enter Gemini season, which will enter Gemini season on the 15th. So right as we're entering Gemini season, is when this is going to end. So this is all the way up through the rest of Taurus season. So Saturn, anytime Saturn is involved, there can be this energy of hitting a wall, of a Debbie Downer. It could be not so like feeling a little more blue. And so I do want to give you that heads up that this transit can be a rough one. It can be a little bit more challenging because there are hurdles or roadblocks that might be getting in our way. And it's almost as if you've been trying, and nothing is working. That's what it feels like with this transit. And it's bringing, right? Saturn is bringing this into our consciousness, those challenges that we're having. So a square is where there is that challenge energy. And so with Saturn, it's just amplifying that even more of our limitations. Okay. Again, all for our greatest and highest good. I always want to say that it's always for our greatest and highest good, which means these hurdles or challenges, it may feel like you're getting hit and you're getting hit and you're getting hit and you're like, what the heck? This is also showing you, maybe there's some adaptability I need. Maybe there's a new perspective. Maybe there's a new approach. Maybe I am the definition of insanity. Right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Now, Saturn is the tried and true. And let me just tell you, tried and true is always the best option, right? We don't want to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. And yet sometimes there's refinement that can happen. Sometimes it's outdated. There's a new approach. And that is what this is. That is what this is bringing into our awareness. So if you're like trying to reach your goals, you're trying to, hit that next target of whatever it might be, things might get a little bit heavy. And so I want to bring that into your awareness now because the normal things that they just seem like, yeah, it's your everyday thing, your everyday chore, your everyday responsibility, your everyday task might be testing you. And you might be thinking to yourself, maybe this isn't for me. I've had a few people like already starting to enter this transit because they've got their Sun and Saturn are already square, and so this is really personalized for them. It's going to amplify, and so they've already kind of been feeling it's like I've been trying this, I've been doing this for 4 months, I've been doing this for 6 months, and nothing is happening. And my thought is always like, okay, well let's look at what we've been doing. So this is what I'd ask you to look at. Look at what you've been doing and then ask yourself, have I been doing everything possible? And when I say this, and I'm my friend, I'm saying this to you. So let me stop here. I'm saying this to you as much as I am saying this to me. Okay. Sometimes we think that we have done all the things. I have done everything. Everybody knows about my event that's coming up. Everybody knows about what I do. Everybody knows about this thing. I've done everything to let people know. And my question is to you, everything? 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 Sometimes we think like we've posted it on social media, so people should know. People should know about my event happening on June 13th because I posted it like 3 weeks ago on social media. They should know because I emailed it to them at least 2 times. They should know because I've reached out to them and told them, hey, I have this event coming up. They should know. People should know. But my friend, people have things going on. As a matter of fact, there's somebody who I think I met her 3 weeks ago. She's works with a company. She's an affiliate for a company. And I really want to purchase her product. And there was a sale this weekend and I totally missed it. It's not that I didn't want to do it. It's just I was not, wasn't on my top priority list, right? And so she had followed up with me on, I think it was Saturday. And then I totally forgot, or Sunday, maybe it was Sunday, and I totally forgot. Monday, I didn't do it. Yesterday, I didn't do it. And so today, I was like, earlier today, I was like, oh, let me go get my credit card to do this thing, right? Just because people, you've told them once, or twice or even 3 times about something, it doesn't mean that they don't want the thing that you have, or they're not interested, or they're trying to avoid you. So a lot of that tries to happen, right? We think people are avoiding us. You think that you're bugging them. None of that, my friend. I'm going to ask you during this transit to open yourself up to, what have I actually been doing? Truth. I tell this to my clients all the time. Truth and emotion. Let's separate the two. Truth and emotion. Facts. If you don't like truth, facts. Facts versus emotion. Facts are facts. Facts are not subjective. My love, when we battle, he loves to bring in subjective ideas. It is not, it is fact. The sky is blue. That is a fact. I can look up at the sky. Now, the shade of blue, now that's subjective. Light blue, dark blue, middle blue, whatever. That's cool. That's subjective. But the fact that you emailed the person, that's a fact. It's a fact. Now, you emailed them and they hate you because they didn't respond yet. That's an emotion. That is not fact, right? So we want to separate those two out. So I'm going to ask you to separate those two out. And because you might even, so here's the other part of this transit, is receive criticisms, feedback, right, from somebody else that makes you feel like even more down, even more stressed out, even more feeling more demanded upon. So I just want you to keep that in mind, keep that in mind as you're moving through this. Keep your cool. Do some breath work, do some meditations. I've got tons of hypnosis on here that you can do for relaxation and peace. Patience. Patience is key. Determination is key. And look at how you can shift things up. We don't want to stack more onto us, but how can we shift our thinking? How can we shift our approach? Maybe we need to bounce some ideas off of a friend or fellow entrepreneur. Okay, now let's talk about where our moon is going to be this week. So we're going to follow the moon. And if you are not following me on Instagram, why not, my friend? Come on over to Instagram. I post pretty regularly over there, daily, usually in my stories. So you can see what's going on over here. And I do try my best. I'm trying to get better at this. I shouldn't say the word try. Let's cut that out. I'm getting better at posting more regularly on that channel. So we've got our moon here beginning with Pisces. That's not correct. I was like, wait, that's not correct. Let's go back to the beginning of the week, because that we didn't do. All right. We start off the week, as I said, here in Capricorn. So this was Taurus Sun, Capricorn Moon for Monday, Tuesday, and into the very early of Wednesday. And this energy here has been very grounding, very strategic, very planner type energy, looking at our goals, because we are coming up on the end of the month, right? The calendar month. We're coming up on that calendar month. And so there's a lot of that energy of like wrapping things up, bringing things to a close. And so this has been a really good planner energy and really getting into work energy, but it's also slower energy. It kind of slowed us down. So if you've been feeling a little bit more of that heaviness over the past couple of days, that's definitely one of the things that is contributing to that. Now we move into Thursday here. So actually late Wednesday into, so probably about, I wouldn't want to say late Wednesday. We're going to say mid morning Wednesday all the way through. Let me move my calendar here for you. Sorry, my thing got in the way. We move all the way over here and we can see on the 31st, which happens to be a Friday, the moon, and it's Friday morning, the moon will be in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. So Aquarius is more of a mental energy. It's an air sign. So there's lots of thoughts, lots of thinking innovative ideas, fresh ideas, new approach type energy, like how to approach things differently. That energy has been coming through. Aquarius is a great time to connect with your community, be in community, work on quick tasks or like wrapping things up, brainstorming or researching is also good under air energy. So this period right here through Wednesday through Friday, really good energy to connect in community, to brainstorm new ideas, fresh creative ways to do things. This is visionary energy. So for your business, if you are kind of in a position where you're like, I need new, I feel like I'm kind of stuck. This energy can help you think outside the box, which is great. So use this energy, my friend. Now we move into Friday here, Friday afternoon. The moon will move into Pisces. So here we are, moon now. Whoops, still not there. Moon in Pisces. There we go. Moon in Pisces. So Friday late afternoon, as you can see here, around 2 o'clock, all the way through Sunday late afternoon. So probably around the same time, the moon will be moving through the zodiac sign of Pisces. And so Pisces is a water sign. So this is a really good time to take care of yourself, some self-care, creative outlets. Working in the spiritual realm is really good during this time. Working, rituals or spiritual habits is really good. Doing ritual habits that didn't make spiritual habits or spiritual would be really good during this time. Journaling, daydreaming, creative projects like actually crafting something or artwork is also really good during this time. Creating emotional content or adding the emotional spin onto something is really good during this time. So I'd highly, highly recommend using this energy for some self-care as well as those creative type outlets. Anything by water, with water, or near water is actually really, really good as well during Pisces energy. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the beginning of the week. And we're going to move into here. Okay, Mercury. Mercury right here is starting this week off in this conjunction here with Uranus. So when we are working with the energy of Mercury, this is our communication, this is our thinking. And when we're looking at Uranus, this is more of thinking outside the box. This is new ideas, unexpected changes. And so this is really stimulating because it's a very stimulating energy, our thinking and our communication. So the way that we do it, it's really like you might find more chatty Cathys right now, wanting to communicate more, wanting to chat more. I've definitely been feeling this past week. My friends that are on Voxer, my clients that are on Voxer, they've been getting like things from me because I've just been sharing. This is also really good for creative tasks because Uranus helps us think out of the box. It's that originality, that innovation, that visionary type energy, as I said. So it's really great for those new types of ideas. Also, open-mindedness and intuition are really open during this time. We can also see some distractibility here. So easily getting distracted, not harder to focus because we're having these like insights and these ideas. And it's like we're wanting to communicate them or think them through or think them out. So my verbal processors, you're probably doing that as well. Things might be a little bit more impulsive. So it's like you're grabbing the phone to text somebody or you're quickly sending somebody something because you want to share in this communicative energy. So this is a really good time for that. Changing things up, experimenting with things, trying something new, getting out of the rut of routine in communication and in thinking in particular. And this transit will go all the way through Monday of next week. So we've got this really beautiful week here of that really excited, stimulating mental energy. All right, let's take a look now at the conjunction I'm sorry, the sextile to Saturn, because that's the other transit here that's happening, that takes place. It actually started the end of last week and is moving through the 31st, so Friday of this week. So when we're looking at Mercury with Saturn, Saturn again is that very grounded energy. And so this is clear thinking. So again, really good time to be thinking outside of the box. Really good time to get those really good insights that that sometimes we're looking for. It's like, oh, I really wish I could get better clarity around this. Like, this is a really good time to do that. Saturn here is wanting you to buckle down and catch up on things. Like, let's catch up on that paperwork that we've been putting off, those notes that we meant to rewrite, the research that we've been wanting to do, the studying of the programs that maybe we bought and became shelf help type idea, or we put it somewhere in our Google Drive, or we save it on our tabs, as I do. This is helping us get more laser focused and being able to cross things off our list. So these past couple of days here, Monday, Tuesday, and even early today, if you felt like getting things done, this has been really, really good energy for doing that. It's like you're like, oh, this is good, right? I'm back on track. I just want to let you know, this has been for a couple of days. It's going to shift once we get to Friday, and because our energy is moving into Aquarius and then Pisces, our optimal time here was a Monday and Tuesday. But I hope you've enjoyed this energy. I have definitely been enjoying this energy. Taking in more information has probably been really good as well. All right, so let's take a look at Venus now. Venus, we saw here, was conjunct our sun, but it's also currently conjunct Jupiter. And that is actually falling off on the 28th. So I did want to let you know that is coming off. As of now, as I'm recording this on the 29th, has fallen off. It has moved past. And so that really, really good feeling of happiness and harmony has probably been really, really beautiful for you. So I hope you've attracted really good things. But I do want to talk about this one that's falling off today, which is this Pluto energy. So Venus trine Pluto. We've had this for about 7-8 days or no. So there was some intensity with our relationships, intensity with a desire for love, affection, connectiveness, maybe even becoming obsessed with certain things like more luxurious items or comforting items, beautiful items, really wanting to be in that energy, and as well as that really good creative energy. So that's falling off as of the 29th. We've had a nice spurt over that as well. Now, the next one, let's look at our planet Mars, because Mars has a couple of things going on. Number one, we have Chiron conjunction, which we've had for about a week or so, and this is going to continue on until the 6th of June. And so we've had this idea of things coming to the forefront. So when we look back at that Sun trine Pluto energy and even the Sun square Saturn, which is coming up, this is bringing things to the forefront for us. It is urging us to resolve the unresolved. Resolve the unresolved. And a lot of the times, actually, I'm sharing. I was like, am I sharing my screen? Sometimes I forget. One of the things that I think as business owners, or as just human beings on a personal journey, right? We forget that sometimes, especially with this full moon and the energy we've been having, there are things that come up. I had a client who had a struggle over the past couple of weeks with family members, in particular her sister. And through that, right, it came to an explosion because of a lot of unresolved and unsaid things. Now, one of the things that I've been learning as I've been moving through somatic breathwork training to become a practitioner in somatic breathwork, and in combination with what I've already known in working with clients for the past 7 years, is that there are things that have happened that we are still holding on to, right? And so in this situation with my client and her sister, they both have some unresolved issues in their own personal journeys, but then also with each other. And so this Mars conjunct Chiron is really bringing that into the forefront and asking us to do something about it. Are we going to continue down this road and continue down with this pattern and this, coming up, this loop that we might be in? Or are we going to resolve it? Are we going to come to some resolution so that we can move forward? One of the things that one of my good friends, and partners and clients in she is also a client, she told me the other day, or she was introducing me to some other people, and she said, Danny is really good at helping people move forward through chaos. And I was like, you said that so beautifully. Because yes, that's exactly what it is. It's like, how do we now move through this? Okay, so this has happened, we are here now, how do we move through this, right? Yes, there's situations where we need to look at the past. We need to get those insights. As I said with my client, right? One of the things I told her was like, what is unresolved? Like, what do you still need to say to your sister? And then so that we can get clear on what your next step is, and so how you can move forward with this relationship, because she's ready to cut her off completely, and it's like, great, I understand that. Let's really get around what that looks like, because we can say, I'm going to cut you off and that's it, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. But if there's unresolved drama, trauma, emotions that have not been expressed, my friend, they're going to get expressed at some point. And I'd rather that be dealt with here and now than a year from now, where it blows up into somebody else's face and relationship, and it's not directed at the person or the experience that it really needs to be. So I want to bring that in, because this Mars conjunct Chiron can definitely be intense. And because of the second thing I want to tell you about Mars, which is Mars is moving into Aries. Now, Mars rules Aries. So this energy is very, very connected. And it's going to get a little bit more intense, where that impulsivity, that reaction, that, you know, I didn't think twice. I just said it, or I just did it. Energy is coming in much, much stronger. So when Mars is in Aries, which Mars actually moves into Aries on the 1st, so on Saturday, and will be in Aries all the way through July 12th. This is really, really ramping up that fiery energy, that warrior energy, that impulsive energy. It's pushing it to the max. So this is, if you were to think about like full steam ahead, this is like really moving forward energy. So cutting things off, cutting people off, moving forward on the thing is great. Great for that. Of course, I'm going to tell you, let's get really clear on all the things before we take that step forward, because I'm a Capricorn rising and a Taurus sun. And with that being said, there's two things here, right? So we can say they can use this energy to help us move forward with things. We can use this energy to boost us, to give us that boost, that zest, that, go for it, inspiration, energy to move forward towards our goals, move forward on our path, move forward towards our fuller alignment. Absolutely. We're going to go and we're not going to look back. We're going to keep on with that forward momentum. Now, the other side of that is that we also may be on the experiencing end of that. And if there has been any unresolved things that have happened over the past month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or even the past couple of weeks, those are going to be coming forward as well. Okay. So that energy may be coming at you as well as you, right? If you're not resolving it, if you're not coming to peace with it or making some really secure, stable, aligned decisions, this could backfire. Okay. So, this is unleashing that inner warrior energy. So, the energy is unstoppable. It's like if you think of, the warrior out on the field who's just going after its goal, or, I want to get to here and I'm not looking back. I'm going to break through it all. I'm just like, the path is opening for me. Nothing is going to get in my way. This is that energy, confidence like no other. So, there's a competitive energy here. So I want to bring this into your attention as well, because there may be some competitiveness that, especially if you've got that Mars in Aries energy like I do, or if you've got that, if you've got a lot of Aries in your chart, very fire energy in your chart, you might be feeling that competition like no other and thinking everything's a competition, right? I see things so much as a competition, and it's been such a learning experience for me to back down from wanting to be in a competitive space and just like let my ego realize like we're not in a competition. The only person we're actually competing with is ourselves. And so I want you to keep this in mind, that people may be thinking they're in competition with you when you're like, we were never in competition. Or you might be thinking you're in competition with somebody, and there's no competition to be had, my friend. The only person you are ever in competition with is yourself. Think before you leap. That's going to be my third piece of advice here. Think before you leap. Mars in Aries is very jumping the gun. It's diving into that new relationship, making a snap decision, purchasing that thing when maybe you shouldn't have. And it's like, oh, dang it. Why did I do that? Why did I say that? What was I thinking? Because we're not. So I'm going to encourage you to do your best to keep yourself aligned. Okay. If you feel yourself getting triggered, like walk away, shut it down. You do not have to respond to every phone call, every text messages, every email that you receive. You do not have to do that, my friend. You do not have to respond. You do not. Okay. You can, and it's not even like you don't have to respond right now, first off, right? You don't have to apologize for responding 2 hours later. And you don't have to even respond at all. There are some times where there are text messages, or there are emails, or there are comments that you get on things that do not need a response, because I want you to pay attention. Now, we're going to avoid this. So we're going to do our best to avoid this. Don't you pay attention to social media over the next month, month and a half, because I guarantee you that people will be impulsive in their responses to things that they agree with or disagree with. The heat is going to be turned up, my friend. So you are always in the driver's seat of your life. You are always in power. You always have the control. It is up to you to maintain that control. Okay. So if you start to feel like you're out of sorts, come back to self. Come back to self. Aries can help us remember that, which is one of the beautiful things with Aries, with Mars in Aries and our Sun in Taurus. It's coming back here, coming back to alignment, coming back to self, because Aries is all about self, coming back to what we need, what we desire. That's the energy I want you to move forward with during this next month. All right. Our final thing that I want to show you is another big planetary change. And this planetary change is going to last the next 8 years. So, what am I talking about here? I am talking about our planet Uranus. So, as you'll see right here, Uranus is at 29 degrees Aries. Now, he has been in there for about 9 years, maybe a little bit less, in the zodiac sign of Aries. Now, he will be moving out of Aries and into Taurus right here on the 31st, my bad. So, what does Uranus? Oops. See, there we go. I was like, why isn't that right? I saw Mercury move. So, Mercury and Uranus are both moving into Taurus. Now, I want to talk about Uranus and then we'll talk briefly about Mercury, but we're going to talk more about Mercury next week. Uranus moving into Taurus, and it's going to be here for the next 8 years. So we're going to looking at April of 2032. So this is, how do I say this? Shaking off the old habits and carving our unique path. Uranus is the rebellion. It is the rebel. It does things its own way. It beats to its own drum. This particular transit through Uranus through Taurus is to embrace change, embrace new things, and open yourself up to different possibilities. Now, Taurus does not like that because Taurus is very stable. It doesn't like change. And so there's going to be this like challenge between the two because we're mixing this energy of comfort and predictability with the unpredictable. It is electric, and Taurus is like, let's just calm down now. Let's just be mindful. Let's slow it down. So I'm going to tell you, and I've said this already for this year, but we are going to see. I already said this with Jupiter when Jupiter moved into Taurus, but I'm going to say this now, even more so with Uranus now moving into Taurus. Our money and the way that we work with money is going to be shifting. The things that we value are going to be shifting. The way that we connect in with Mother Earth is changing. Now, whether it is changing for the way you want or not is not here for debate. I'm not trying to debate this in any way. All I'm telling you is that expect some major changes. Expect some like things that you could not possibly think of. My love and I love to watch old classic like game shows, and so we've been watching Family Feud, The Price is Right, like old, like we're talking like early 80s type time. And the other day we were watching Price is Right, and they were talking about, it was like, I think it was like the I don't know how we got on it. Oh no, it wasn't Price is Right. It was Family Feud. And they were talking about phones, right? And so him and I got on this conversation about back in the day with party lines, and then into like having a second line with the same phone number, or two different phone numbers with the same line. And so we started talking about like these ideas and how back in those times, and I clearly remember them, right, of having the phone hooked to the wall and then having it on a really long cord so that you can move it around and walk around, to now having everybody has basically a computer right in their hand at all times. And the thought, I was like, could you imagine, like, did we ever think back at that time when, I'm sitting on the stairs on the phone, right, with a friend, did we have any concept or idea that we would each have one of those and it'd be really tiny and we'd have it in our hands? Like, we couldn't fathom that idea. This right here, this point in time is where a lot of the things that we are used to is about to change in the form of our, especially around, as I said, what we value, our money, and how we connect with Mother Earth. We're going to see a big shift in that. And in as much as I am somebody who does not like change, I understand that it is for the greater evolution of our race, of our humanness, of this 3D experience. And so I am hoping that some of those changes in the way that we connect with Mother Earth is that we embrace her and love her and connect with her in different ways. Maybe even some of the older traditional ways, maybe with a new modern flair. I would love to see some of that. I would love to see the things that we value change towards more connectedness and less, division. We'll see how that goes, but those are some of the things that I'm going to say. There's going to be some changes in those sectors in particular, as well as more. I guess the word would be green with tech. Like we could see some really cool advancements around how we're managing and using our natural resources. Now, with that, like farming, renewable energy, more eco-friendly practices, which I think we are already starting to see, right? Many people are getting into having more, building their own vegetable gardens, right? Farming, really more eco-friendly practices that we might be doing in our homes. And I feel like this is shifting, right? And so there could be, because Uranus also rules technology, we might be seeing some of those things as well start to come into play. Now we already see like the things like with AI coming in, we might be seeing some more things. Again, whether you like that or not, that's kind of out of the question, because the things are going to change whether we like them or not. They're going to change. It's happened for eons and it will continue to happen, right? Again, whether it's good or not, change is always happening. The other thing here is freedom from the material. So I'm going to say this as freedom from the 3D, because sometimes we get so connected to the physical, tangible things in our environment. We get so attached to our computer, our clothes, our homes. We get so attached to these things, and it's finding more freedom, right? I think this is one of the reasons why, van life has become such a thing, or people living in motorhomes, right, has been such a thing, because 2020, right, that shift changed a whole lot for us in how, like, our traditional ways of doing things. We don't necessarily need to buy the home, right? We could live differently, right? We don't have to live the way that we have been for the past 50, 60 years. Like we can change what that looks like. And so I feel like this is also something, is finding freedom in the material, finding freedom from the things, right? And connecting back to what is more meaningful. Again, this kind of goes with that personal values that we have, and that shifting as well. One of the major keys to this is to stay flexible, my friend. Stay flexible and adaptable through the change. There are some changes that you're like, yes, I'm on board with this. And there's going to be some changes that you're not. I want you to stay open and flexible to how you can navigate through that. And if there are certain things that you are not in alignment with, then my friend, it's time to get behind whatever cause, whatever organization that believes in that thing, so that you can fight for what you believe in, whatever that is, my friend. Okay. Those are some of my thoughts here on this Uranus in Taurus transit. And this has been your Sidereal Astrology Forecast. My friend, a couple of things coming up that I do want to tell you about. This coming up on June 4th is our new moon sacred circle. We have a new moon sacred circle every single month. This month it is virtual only, so it'll be online. And it's a 2-hour circle where we come together to learn about the energy of the new moon, about the upcoming Gemini season, and go through a really beautiful ritual that I've done for several years now around setting an intention for the new moon. My friend, it's one of my favorite things to do every single month. I would love for you to join. You can find a link down below in the description and in the show notes for the podcast. The second thing is we will be having some upcoming events in June for business planning as well as somatic breathwork healings. So look out for those. Stay connected. You can find a link down below to join our email list. You get notified of all the events that are coming up. Be sure to follow on Instagram as well because I update there. And what was the other thing I was going to say? I can't remember. So let's just finish off with my friend, close your eyes with me. And let's take a nice deep breath in. Let's do that again. One more time. My friend, find peace this week.